Welcome back, Capital F football fans, to the O&O Sports YouTube channel. Today, we are looking at my thoughts, my opinions on Lane Kiffin moving to LSU. And it's not actually just my thoughts. It's actually coming from a space I did with Reed Napper of the Love for the Game podcast, as well as Rodley Paralito and Sosa Picks. Links to all these creators will be in the description below. Great content all around. Be sure to check out all the people I just mentioned who are in this conversation. And if you enjoy this video, as always, be sure to like and subscribe. It helps me out a ton. And without further ado, let's talk about Lane Kiffin heading to LSU.
Speaking of line it up, any final thoughts on LSU hiring Lane Kiffin aside from it's a slam dunk hire, could be the start of the next dynasty in the SEC. And welcome back to reality, Ole Miss. Welcome back to going 8-4.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think the Lane Kiffin hire is great because I think he's this great football coach or this great leader. I think he's a good offensive play caller. And he's a good recruiter, and he understands the climate in which the game is played now. He's not the best football coach that got hired in this cycle. He's the best car salesman that got hired in this cycle. And part of being a good college football coach, that's why I asked the question earlier. I think part of being a good college football coach now is being the best used car salesman there is. Because there's no guarantee on either end if you're going to be able to deliver, whether it be on a player side or a coach side, because the only thing teams have to offer players now is money. And it requires a coach that can tell these millionaires to come together and be part of something bigger than themselves. I don't know if Lane Kiffin is that guy. I know one thing for sure, though. They'll score points and they'll fill seats, because scoring points is a direct viewing point of sports. They're going to score a lot of points. We're going to watch them. They're going to have a lot of money to get a lot of athletes. Does that guarantee that they're going to win championships? No. Are they in a better situation today than they were a couple of weeks ago? Absolutely. Absolutely. Lane Kiffin is an upgrade from what they had and where they were. I don't think he's a top 5 coach in his conference. And I'm going to leave it at that.
In his conference, whoa.
He's not a top 5 coach in the SEC. He's a top 2 or 3 play sequencer and play caller and understanding patterns to go against opposing defenses. I'll give him that. If I'm wrong, tell me. You guys watch football, college football every week. If I'm tripping, O&O, Perlito, if I'm wrong, tell me.
I would agree. Personally, I think the best hire of the cycle was Summerall, personally. I mean, he's been very impressive in his just overall disposition. What he was able to do when he literally had a quarterback pull up in May, and he's in the conference championship on Friday or on Saturday, whenever they play. A guy who has brought programs from the dead as well.
Bro, he's not better than Elko. You could say 50-50 with DeBoer. He's not better than Eli Drinkwitz. He is not a better football coach than Eli Drinkwitz.
Hey, I can't be totally mad at that, because Eli was competing with the Blue Bloods for recruits, and he's pieced it together in the portal. I know the quarterback situation wasn't the greatest this year, but it's not always going to be the greatest over there at Mizzou. Hey, now Heupel, I think he's a better play caller than. I don't know. He's a better play caller.
What I will say is this: I think Heupel's a better play designer. I think when it comes to sequencing and play calling, Lane's still a little bit better. That's just me.
Yeah, I feel that, and he has a gimmick offense, quote unquote. So, I understand that. I definitely understand that. But yeah, my thing with Lane Reed is this: volatility of the 2 situations. One, being the head coach of the LSU Tigers, and 2, being Lane Kiffin. Now, I know we were all in this space on Sunday. Nobody should be mad at Lane making the decision. I totally agree with that. But it's just the fact of how, one, he thought he could have his cake and eat it too. He drug out this situation, and I think he's going to get on a lot of people's nerves. It ain't always going to be peaches and rainbows. And I get it, Les Miles won a championship here. Ed Ogeron won a championship here.
He better than Elko?
He's not better, not a better football coach, not to me. But
that's what I'm saying. He better than Sark?
I think he is better.
Kiffin better than Sark?
I think he's a better play designer. Is he a better overall coach? I don't know.
I think he's a better.
Recruiter?
I also agree. I think he's a better play caller.
I don't think he's a better recruiter than Sark, personally.
Oh, no, I want to hear what you got to think.
Yeah, Colton, what do you think?
To me, this reminds me a lot of Lincoln Riley to USC, because when Lincoln left Oklahoma to go to USC, everyone was like, he's going to have a grand old time at USC. They're going to win Pac-12 championships galore because he's a great coach. But the thing is, great coaches aren't all it takes to win football games. To me, Lane Kiffin at LSU sounds really good. I don't think it's necessarily the greatest hire this offseason, like I think Sosa said. I think it's a very good hire. You're definitely getting an upgrade from a coaching perspective from Brian Kelly, but that doesn't necessarily translate to winning football. I think Lane Kiffin will have a ton of success, but I thought Lincoln Riley would have a ton of success at USC, and he's been pretty good. But in his years in the Pac-12, he didn't win a Pac-12 championship.
Mm-hmm.
In the Big Ten, I know it's a completely different, arguably much more difficult conference. He hasn't done anything meaningful in the conference. To me, it feels like this is a good hire for LSU. I don't necessarily see it as LSU is now a top 5 program in football. I see it as they could become that very, very easily with the correct hires. I think him retaining Blake Baker is a very, very good sign for things to come. But I don't think necessarily that Lane Kiffin being LSU's head coach makes them, world beaters or will make them the next Georgia. I think they will be able to compete as long as they spend heavily, which I think is true for every single program, especially every Power 4 program. As long as you're willing to spend at an elite level, you can be at the top of your conference any given year. But to become an Ohio State, I don't think so. To become a Georgia, I don't think so. I think LSU has the potential to be a very great, potentially a national championship winning team with Lane Kiffin as long as he's there. But to me, it doesn't scream like what a lot of people thought Lincoln Riley to USC would scream, which is new perennial powerhouse in the conference. I just don't believe that for a second.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think that I've seen some people compare it to us getting Kirby, and I thought that was absolutely asinine. But Colton, since you brought up the name, I'm talking all time. I'm not talking currently. Is Lane really better than BK all time?
No, he is not. I tweeted that.
No.
He is not a better. He's not more accomplished. He's not. Listen, it's just he didn't fit the SEC, bro. He's an up north dude. He never fit the SEC, and that's okay.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. And I think because the SEC, and you can call it bias or whatever you want to call it, is looked at as the best conference. If you don't fit there, you're just not good. That's not true at all. I mean, obviously, we've seen other coaches in other schools and other conferences. I don't think he's better than BK. I just don't.
Listen, he's better in the SEC. He's better. I think from a structural fit, he's a way better fit at LSU than BK. Not that makes BK a bad coach. It's just, bro. It's just he never fit the culture.
Yeah, I mean, trying to pull off a fake Southern accent is definitely a choice.
Yeah, Lane Kiffin imitating Ed Orgeron didn't help his opening press conference either.